You are welcome to your favorite program, Learn Tree with Opoku. One of my followers wants to know if kenkan and kan can be used interchangeably. Not all. He also wants to know if didi and di can also be used interchangeably. Well, though there's a slight difference between kenkan, which means to read, and kan also means to read, both can be used interchangeably. For example, I can say kenkan kenkan, which means read the scriptures for us. Read the scriptures for us. Kenkan kenkan. I can also say kan kenkan, which also means read the scriptures for us. So as I said, we can use kenkan and kan interchangeably. The only difference between the two is that kenkan has only one meaning, and that is to read. But kan has two meanings, and that is to read and also to count. So when it comes to counting of money, then I will not say kenkan sikano, but I will say kan sikano, that is count the money. Count the money. So if I am counting money, then I will say me kan sikano. I will not say me kenkan sikano. And this is a bonus. When I count money before you and I give it to you to recount, I will say bwechire. Bwechire, that means recount, to check if everything is correct or if everything is okay. Bwechire, bwechire. That is all for kenkan and kan. Now let's go to didi and di. I cannot say the same thing for didi and di. That is, didi and di cannot be used interchangeably. Though the two words mean to eat, their usage differ. While didi sounds like to eat, di sounds like to consume. Let me use this analogy to help you understand what I mean. Assuming your doctor finds out that you are malnourished, you've not been eating well, and he's advising you. If he wants to make a general statement that you should eat something without being specific as to what you should eat, he can say, you need to eat. You need to eat. Note, here he did not specify what exactly you should eat. He's only making a general statement. You need to eat. Whatever you want to eat is your own business. But if he wants to use the term consume, he cannot say you have to consume and ends his statement without a complement. That's without specifying exactly what you should consume. So for example, he can say you have to consume fruits and vegetables. You see here that fruits and vegetables complement the verb consume. This is how didi and di behave. While didi is used to make a general statement by not specifying what one should eat, di is used with a complement. Thus, when you use di, you must go further to state what one should eat. Okay, let's use the doctor's analogy to explain further. The doctor can say the following to you as a patient. 1, he can say you have to eat. In 3, he will say esese wudidi. 2, he can say eat well. In 3, he will say didiye. Also, he can say if you eat in the mornings and afternoons, you will be healed soon. In 3, he will say sewudidi anopani ewia ohubeto wontem. Sewudidi anopani ewia ohubeto wontem. Note that in the above statements, you can't use di in place of didi. Neither can you use consume in place of eat, because none of them or none of the statements specifies the food that you should eat. For instance, you cannot say esese wudi without being specific as to what one should eat. If you say esesewudi, that's you have to consume, and you stop, your listener will ask you, esesemidi what? Esesemidi dien. That's I have to consume what? So di is always complemented by the name of the food or the type of food, but didi is not. Just as in English, if you say to someone, you have to consume and stop, he will ask you, I have to consume what? Now let us use the same analogy to explain di. On the other hand, the doctor can say the following too. One, he can say, you have to consume fruits. In P, he will say, esese or ewose wudi niaba. Ewose wudi niaba. Niaba means what? Fruits. Niaba. Fruits. We have two words here. The first one is in nia, which means trees, and then aba, which means what? Seed. And so we calling it literally trees seed. Trees seed. Niaba. Niaba. That is just by the way. So the doctor could say, ewose wudi niaba. And he can also say, you have to eat or you have to consume a lot of vegetables. You have to consume a lot of vegetables. In Chi, he will say, esese wudi atosodie bebre. Esese wudi atosodie bebre. Atosodie refers to vegetables. Why do we call it atosodie? Culturally, we don't usually cook vegetables separately. Normally, we put it on top of the main dish and then cook together with it. The torso, the top main dish in the so we put it on the main dish. The torso. That is why we call it what? Atosodie. Literally, we are saying something that we put on top of something. Atosodie. Atosodie. Meaning what? Vegetables. See, the doctor could say that esese wudi atosodie bebre. He can also say you have to eat balanced diet. In P, he will say esese wudi aduane pa. And finally, he can also say eat fufu. Eat fufu. Which in P, he will say di fufu. Di fufu. What do you notice about the above statements? You could see that in the above statements, the names of the food or type of food are mentioned. That is why di was used. Okay, but I want you to note that one sounds very weird when one misuses these two verbs. For example, if you say diye instead of didiye, you sound very weird and laughable. Besides, diye means something else. It means to live well or live a wealthy life. Another example, if you say didi fufu instead of di fufu, you will sound very, very laughable in the ears of a native speaker. Let me ask you, how would you feel when someone, instead of telling you, for example, swallow the medicine, he in a commanding voice says, swallowing the medicine, swallowing the medicine, when in fact he wants to say, or when in fact he wants to command you to swallow the medicine. It will sound very weird, isn't it? Yeah, the same thing. If you misuse these two verbs, it will sound very weird. But a pertinent question that one can ask is, when can we use di and didi interchangeably? Well, when you have food in your hands or before you and you invite me and I'm okay and I want to say, go ahead, then I can use di or didi interchangeably. Why so? Well, as I'm responding to your request, I may be making an inaudible reference to the food before you. So in that sense, I can say, oh, di, meaning eat the food before you. On the other hand, I can assume that I have not seen what is before you, or even though I see something before you, I don't know what exactly it is. So I will not make reference to that, but rather I will urge you to eat something. In that sense, I can say didi, didi, didi. So in such a situation, I can use di or didi, and there is nothing wrong with that. Else, I would like to reiterate that we use didi when no reference is made to what one should eat. For example, I can say didiye, meaning eat well. As to what you are going to eat, I've not mentioned it. On the other hand, we use di with complement. That is to say, we use it when we go further to tell or state the name or the type of food that one is supposed to eat. For instance, I can say di pizza. That is, eat pizza. Well, good people, this is where we'll end this lesson. And I will appreciate if you help others to get access to this channel by sharing the videos on your social media handles. Thanks for listening.